If you already own a Canon or Nikon 70-200mm f2.8, the real question isn't whether these new lenses are excellent, it's whether either upgrade is worth replacing the lens you already trust. Canon added hybrid production features. Nikon cut weight. Both promise faster, more refined performance. You're watching Alt Buzz Lenses. Subscribe for honest lens comparisons. The Canon RF 70-200mm f2.8L IS USM Z goes full internal zoom, fixed length at all focal distances. It adds an iris ring, 2 programmable buttons, powered zoom adapter compatibility, better close focusing, and support for Canon's 1.4x and 2x extenders. It's not smaller, slightly heavier, and longer when packed. It's the redesign a hybrid shooter or gimbal operator has been waiting for. A stills-only photographer with 77mm filters may see little reason to switch. The NIKKOR Z 70-200mm f2.8 VRS Mark II goes the other way. Nikon's own figures put the original at roughly 1.36 kilograms without foot versus 998 grams for the Mark II, without collar or cover. About a 26% cut. It also gets a new autofocus system, better close focusing, and refreshed controls. This is a more conventional generational upgrade. Lighter, faster, same core purpose. A wedding or sports shooter carrying it for hours will feel the difference. A monopod shooter who never complained about weight, less so. Nikon made the bigger conventional upgrade. Canon made the bigger shift in purpose. The upgrade lists explain what changed on paper, but they don't tell you which difference survives contact with an actual working day. That's the question worth chasing through the rest of this comparison. Canon. Approximately 1,110 grams. Approximately 199 millimeters. 82mm filters. Internal zoom keeps barrel length constant. Great for gimbal or rig work, but it no longer collapses, and the filter size may not match an existing kit. Nikon. 998 grams, without collar or cover, approximately 208 millimeters, still 77mm filters. That's a genuine drop from its predecessor, noticeable after a full day of carrying it. The Arca Swiss-compatible collar is removable. The hood has a filter access window, and the center of gravity barely shifts while zooming. For all-day carrying, weddings, sidelines, Nikon's redesign more directly solves the fatigue problem. Canon may still balance better once mounted on a rig with a matte box, where fixed length matters more than raw weight. 100 grams on a spec sheet rarely tells the whole story on its own. An engaging presence. Balance depends on the camera body, the grip, the strap, and how the weight distributes along the barrel, not just the number printed on the box. Canon uses 2 nano USM motors on separate focus groups, aimed at quiet operation and steady focus through zooming, useful for live events where focus drift ruins a shot. Nikon replaces its stepping motor with a silky swift voice coil motor across multiple groups, and claims roughly 3.5 times faster focus and approximately 40% better tracking while zooming than the original, under Nikon's own test conditions. Both numbers are manufacturer claims, tied to camera bodies as much as the lens itself. Without a controlled side-by-side test, no verified winner exists. Fair summary. Nikon claims the bigger generational leap. Canon's design leans towards staying steady through zoom for video and hybrid work. A 70-200mm lens is only ever half the autofocus equation. The body's subject detection system does the other half of the work. That makes it risky to credit either lens alone for how well it tracks a moving subject. Canon has 18 elements in 15 groups, 2 Super UD, 1 UD, 3 aspherical, 11 blades, air sphere plus super spectra coatings. Nikon. 18 elements in 16 groups, 6 specialized element types, 11 blades, mesoamorphous plus ARNEO coatings. Built to Nikon's S-line standard, while shedding weight and elements from its predecessor. Both will resolve fine detail at this price point. Without controlled testing, declaring an optical winner would be guessing. The real differences here are likely smaller than the handling and workflow differences already covered. That's not a disappointing conclusion. It just means the real decision lives elsewhere. Both are flagship, $3,000 class zooms, and neither falls apart optically at this level. Canon has up to 5.5 stops lens-based, 7.5 stops with compatible in-body IS, center of frame. Nikon, 5.5 stops built-in VR, 6 stops with Synchro VR, under Nikon's own test conditions. Different testing standards make a direct comparison unreliable. Treat both as promising, not proof. Close focusing diverges by design. Canon focuses to approximately 0.49 meters at 70 millimeters and approximately 0.68 meters at 200 millimeters, hitting 0.3 times magnification at telephoto, good for shooting a ring or product detail with working distance. Nikon focuses to approximately 0.38 meters at 70 millimeters and approximately 0.8 meters at 200 millimeters, hitting its 0.3 times magnification at the wide end instead. Better for getting close to a flower or table detail without stepping back. Neither wins outright. They solve different close-up problems. Stabilization ratings, however high, were built for static handheld work. They do very little to freeze a moving athlete, and panning technique changes the equation entirely. Treat both companies' numbers as promising, not as proof of anything in isolation. This is Canon's strongest chapter. Internal zoom keeps rig balance constant, the iris ring gives clickless aperture control, and optional PZE2 and PZE2B adapters enable repeatable powered zoom during recording, something Nikon has no equivalent for. Add focus breathing control and cinema and broadcast accessory compatibility, and it reads as a production system component, not just a stills lens that shoots video. Nikon's case is quieter. Low weight and minimal center of gravity shift make it pleasant on a handheld gimbal over a long day. The voice coil motor runs quietly. The control ring toggles clicked and clickless modes, and the hood's filter window helps solo shooters. Nikon explicitly targets handheld and gimbal video. Neither lens should be called truly parfocal without controlled testing. Canon built an expandable production system. Nikon built something a solo creator forgets they're carrying. This is likely Canon's strongest chapter of the whole comparison, and it deserves to be treated that way. But Nikon's quieter approach earns a fair hearing for the audience it's actually built for. Both support 1.4 times and 2 times teleconverters natively, Canon RF extenders, Nikon Z teleconverters, reaching roughly 280 mm at f4 or approximately 400 mm at f5.6. Actual usability depends on firmware, worth checking before relying on teleconverter autofocus in the field. Filter size matters here too. Canon's 82mm size may mean new glass if your kit is built around 77mm filters. Nikon's continued 77mm size slots into gear most working photographers already own. Without controlled testing, no clear teleconverter image quality winner exists. Accessories expand what both lenses can do, but they also push an already expensive purchase further past the number printed on the box. Firmware plays a bigger role here than most photographers assume, so checking it before a paid shoot is worth the 5 minutes it takes. Nikon's Mark II launched in the US at approximately $3,199.95. Canon's lens has an official price around $3,299, with promotions that shift. Recheck both before buying. Upgrading on Canon makes sense if internal zoom, extender support, or powered zoom solves a real workflow limitation. Less sense if you shoot almost entirely stills with 77mm filters and the older lens has never let you down. Upgrading on Nikon is a more direct case. Strongest if weight has been an ongoing complaint, weddings, fast action, gimbal work. Weaker if weight was never an issue, or you shoot mostly from a tripod. Neither is a reason to switch systems entirely. A system is built from years of gear and familiarity, not one lens redesign. Both are excellent. Buy whichever matches your camera is true and almost entirely unhelpful. The question that actually matters is which lens strengthens the system you already own. For long assignments, weddings, sports, anything measured in hours, the NIKKOR Z 70-200mm 2.8 VRS Mark II is the stronger recommendation, thanks to its weight cut and handling focused redesign. For hybrid and video production, the Canon RF 70-200mm f2.8L IS USM Z pulls ahead on its iris ring, powered zoom, and cinema and broadcast integration. If you're asking which is the more compelling upgrade from its predecessor overall, that's Nikon. The weight cut, autofocus redesign, and closer focusing will register with more working photographers day to day. If you already own the original Canon RF version and don't need hybrid features, there's a real case for keeping it. Lighter, shorter packed, and still fully capable. Canon changes what a 70-200mm lens can do inside a hybrid workflow. Nikon changes how demanding it feels to carry and operate one. Neither redesign makes the lens already sitting in your bag obsolete. The worthwhile upgrade was never the newest one. It's the one that removes the limitation you actually run into. Which improvement would actually make you replace your current lens? Lower weight, internal zooming, faster autofocus, extender support, or stronger video controls? Tell us below. Subscribe to AltBuzz Lenses for more comparisons built around real ownership decisions, not spec sheet winners.